Hey fam, what's up? Welcome to this episode of 49 Faithfully. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis. TL, what's going on?
Going pretty well. I appreciate everybody staying up for us. I see Michael, Melissa, and San in the comments. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, it's been good. I'm glad it's tomorrow's already Friday, and I'm off on the weekend, so it's nice. So I can't wait for my weekend to come up.
Yeah, nice little brag there.
Yeah, I
Some
had
of
to.
us don't get weekends off.
Hey, I used to work in the casinos too. I used to be a bellman. I used to work at ugly shifts.
Sin, Mike, Melissa, what's up? Thank you for joining us. Everybody else who joins us now or later, we appreciate you as always. Um, so yeah, what a crazy week. Obviously, we're no longer playing football. But before we jump into that, I want to touch on a couple things, NFL wise. Um, Tom Brady officially retires. Um, you know, the guy that most will say is the GOAT. Um, and maybe not even the greatest, quarterback of all time. There's debate that he's the greatest football player of all time. Like he's up in that at least, top couple there. So yeah, I mean that changes things a lot because for as long as I can remember, Tom Brady's been in the NFL. Tom Brady's been in the Super Bowl. You
Mhm.
know, like how many ever Super Bowls has he been in? And now that he's gone, finally other teams can actually get in there. Like I
Yeah.
was so sick of seeing the Patriots in there. And I couldn't stand Tom Brady when he was with the Patriots just because he was such, like that Patriot Bill Belichick way. But since he
Mhm.
had went to the Buccaneers, like I've actually grown to like, Tom Brady. Like he's so much more likable as a Buccaneer. So, it was cool to see like him come out more and actually be on social media and engaged with people and talking and we got to see more of actually Tom Brady.
Mhm.
So yeah, congrats to him. How do you feel about that? Were you surprised? I mean, it kind of leaked, a couple days ago, but
Yeah, kind of like I actually thought he would go one more year. I thought he would go. I mean, the man threw like 43 touchdown passes, and then
yeah.
he's retiring, so he's going out on top. I will say, you know, and I'm a Wolverines fan, so I used to love Tom Brady when he was there and stuff like that. you know, you can't argue his catalog. He has a lot of accolades and stuff like that. But like I think Michael said, he's not the GOAT quarterback to me. It's still always going to be Joe Montana until somebody shows me otherwise.
Hmm.
Just because there's been too many instances where they've found the Patriots cheating. Every time you had that asterisk by your name, and then two, when Josh McDaniels didn't he coach Denver for a year or something like that? Didn't he coach the
I think
Broncos?
he went
He
somewhere
went
for.
somebody anyway. When he was coaching the Broncos, DJ Williams, the linebacker, came out and said when he was playing for Josh McDaniels that there was times where they were cheating then too. So the fact that that organization has a cheating reputation,
Right.
how many, and so just because they got caught a few times, but just because you got caught, I got kids. It's just like, when I catch a lion, yeah, I might have caught you a few times, but how many times have you actually done it without getting caught?
Exactly.
So that's my issue with Tom Brady. But like I said, I will never, I'm not taking anything from him. It is what it is. Like I said, I'm a Wolverines fan, so I always have some love for the man. But yeah, being the best football player ever, he's in that conversation, but I don't think I'd ever put him over, Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. And that's not being a biased 49er fan. That's just the eye test from what I've seen. And I think Jerry Rice, he's going to be very hard to surpass as the best football player to ever live.
Right.
So,
I agree on about the best football player and Jerry Rice, and there's still other players that I would put above Tom there. However, I do only hear from 49ers fans that Joe Montana is the GOAT over Tom Brady. I don't ever hear that from non 49ers fans, so I'll just throw that out there.
okay, I will say this though. There's there's a guy at my job. He's a Packers fan, and he says that Joe Montana is the best ever. Also, so that's somebody else other than 49ers
That's
fans who has said that. And he said because you can't knock the 4-0 in Super Bowls, and him never throwing an interception.
Right.
So,
and to me, the cheating part, and that played a huge part into why I didn't like Tom Brady, and the Patriots so much, because, like you said, that's how many times they got caught, but how many times have they done it, and it's just like so many things they did, thing after thing after thing, and always like caught breaks for everything, and then we'll just change rules and we'll just do this, and it's like the NFL gave them so much more, than what they do anybody else. So
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, you can't take away the things that he's done for
Sure.
this game and all that. So yeah, congrats to him. What's up, Joel and Peachy?
Peachy joined
Appreciate
in.
you guys. And then I wanted to touch on, we're speaking about Bill Belichick. He decided to show us again that he's not very technology savvy and sent out wrong text messages to Brian Flores. And now Brian Flores has a lawsuit against the NFL, against the Dolphins, Giants, and Broncos. There's some crazy things in there. And, talking about possibly that he was getting, the Dolphins wanted to pay him $100,000 a game to lose. So to tank the season, for draft picks. And then what's Hugh Jackson?
Hugh Jackson said it too, that he was offered money to tank and lose games as well. Yep.
And I mean, look at Hugh Jackson's record when he was, with the Browns. I can totally believe that. That's huge. If they can find that, however they could find that really truly did happen, that's a huge thing. How do you feel about all this? What are your thoughts? What do you think, if they do find that was the case, what do you think should happen to the Dolphins owner?
The Dolphins owner, well, he should definitely be dismissed. I mean, if that's the situation is, he should put this team up for sale immediately. Just real quick, I see Peachy's comment. She said she'll be here for the draft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just saw that. Nice.
Down.
So we're going to be at John Chapman's event, me and Miriah both. So if you're going, let us know, Peachy.
Me and Miriah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna come out here and act like I'm some conspiracy theorist, but I've always felt that the games were a bit rigged. And I'm not saying all games every week, but there's two sayings: Vegas never loses, and the house always wins. It's a $1 billion business in Vegas and all this gambling. So there's no doubt in my mind that, that there's some hands involved because there's too much money involved. I mean, when you see, just like, for example, you got the Buffalo Bills. No, I'm sorry. Let me choose another game. You got the Chiefs and the Bengals game. There was 88% of the fans or the bettors who voted for the Chiefs to win outright. Then you had 70% who vote for the Chiefs to cover the spread. And then, I mean, the Chiefs were looking like they were dominating this game. And all of a sudden, they couldn't score a bit. So, and then the Bengals end up winning. So that's 88% of the money that's lost. So Vegas kept 88% of the bettors' money on that one. They kept 70% of the bet for the Chiefs to cover the spread because they lost. And the over-under went under 2 points, and everybody bet on the over because they thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. Yeah. I'm just putting that out there. So that's 3 for 3. That did not happen in the bettors' favor. So for them to come back 21-3, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, but as far as the pain, I mean, I gotta commend what's his name, Brian Flores, for the Dolphins, because he could have got an extra, maybe $1 million for tanking, and he didn't do it. So that's integrity right there. And the fact
not only that, the fact that him doing this could cost his career. This could possibly be that. Yeah. But I mean, that's the reality that, this could possibly make an NFL team not want to hire him. And he's even said that, that he knows he's putting his career in jeopardy. And yet, this is something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Somebody has to do it.
Well, here's the thing too. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of what's the word I want to say? And I'm not trying to talk trash, but I feel like us fans, if we really want to dig into this and help out, we need to stop being hypocrites. So what I mean by that is, I'm not saying right now, but if it comes out that all these teams have been racist and all these teams have been pretty much stepping over candidates who are African American, Mexican American, wherever the case may be, it's all about boycotting, but it's not going to happen because all they'll do is make stuff cheaper, and fans are going to be like, "Oh, I can't pass up this deal; it's cheap." But it's like, don't sit here and cry and say that you're against racism, but yet you want to buy season tickets. Don't cry over racism, but yet you're paying hundreds of dollars to go to a game. Because if all fans get together and they say, like I said, if this comes out to be true, I'm not saying right now, I'm saying if this comes out to be true, you need to boycott and say, I'm not going to games. I'm not, because we're the ones who, and people can say, oh, I don't know why you say we win, we lose. Well, yeah, I say we because I buy the merchandise, I buy direct TV, I help people's salaries and all the other fans.
Right.
So if we all stuck together and just said, I'm not paying for them, and then maybe it'll change the NFL's tune. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it.
Yep. What's up, Pinor? And he says, it's not shocking. I'll never forget reading the article Suck for Luck about the Colts losing on purpose to get Andrew Luck. And how long did we hear Tank for Tua? This is things that unfortunately, we've been all talking about for years and years and years. And it's just crazy to me. I mean, it's not shocking that it's happening. It's just shocking that finally somebody's coming out and speaking about it.
Exactly.
And the whole thing with the Rooney Rule is ridiculous to me. First of all, that you have to, because I do feel like the coach from the Chiefs,
Andy Reid.
No,
you're talking about Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah. Like, he gets all these interviews from every team for the last how many years, never gets, you never hear that he's like
hired.
The front runner of anything, So it's like, is he just like the black guy that gets used by all these teams because they have to interview a black guy? Like, that's what it's starting to like feel like and look like.
Absolutely.
And that's pretty sad. So like, I just feel like, you're wasting everybody's time, like, you're wasting his time to have to go to all these damn interviews. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of devotion that you have to put into going to a friggin' interview for a head coaching job, And for them just to be blowing smoke out of his ass and just interviewing him because they have to interview a black guy.
Yeah.
The fact that you get now draft picks to hire, a coach that's minority, like, that's so ridiculous that it has to take that. And still, we only have one black head coach in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the man, what's his name? Brian Flores has been pretty solid these last 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, he won his team went off and won 8 straight or something like that. Like, they were out doing their thing. And the fact that he didn't, waver and say, no, I'm just going to go ahead and lose these games. Like, I love that. Like I said, you always love a person with integrity, regardless of the situation. But yeah, I agree. And then that stuff came up with the 49ers and their tight ends coach, assistant head coach, about, them firing him because he didn't take a pay cut or something. And him being African American. So yeah, it just, I don't know. Like I said, it's disgusting to me. Hopefully it comes out that it's not what we think, but it's not looking good. Like, if you look at the way stuff is going down, like same thing with D'Amico Ryans. Like, how serious were the Vikings?
Yeah.
Were you serious about hiring him, or were you just doing it to meet your quota?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then like you said, it's like, why does it have to be like, oh, if you hire a minority, you get a draft pick? Like, why does it have to come to that? So I agree with you. That's just ridiculous to me. But yeah, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I will say, if it comes out that people are and here's the thing, I've never, and I'm not saying this, I'm a 49ers fan, but I never really heard anything about the 49ers, stuff like that. But if it comes out that the NFL was racist and all this other stuff, I'm gonna have a different mindset with it. And I'm gonna really like if it comes like I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like if they were like, oh, the 49ers have been racist and stuff like that, I won't buy any gear. I won't do
Right.
anything like that because the cause is more important than these games. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah, and
JV
there
Peachy,
are other minority head coaches out there, Melissa. I said there's only one black head
black
coach
coach.
out there.
Yes, that's what you said. Yep. Yeah.
Sim, thank you for joining us.
Sam.
I had to bribe Sim, pay him an extra $100,000 to get him to finally show up. So it's nice that he could join
A
us.
man of integrity. He showed up. No, I'm just
Yep,
playing.
I know he's out there big pimping all the time, so it's hard for him to
Yeah.
show up to these things.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I think that's all. Talking about coaches getting fired, I wanted to touch on John Embry, our tight ends coach, assistant head coach, got let go by the 49ers. Rumors are that they asked him to take a 60% pay cut.
That's huge.
And here's the thing. It seems to me, because they just added that assistant head coach title to him last season, right? So it seems to me that although we haven't got the whole story, that maybe they were trying to take the assistant head coach from him, and that was the 60% pay cut because he got that pay raise when he got that title. And of course, who's going to take that? I would not take that either. After you already have that title and pay, like, okay, yeah, no problem. Like, that's a huge amount.
It is.
But him, I mean, it's just weird because, like, what does an assistant head coach even do, right? And I mean, I guess we can say, he's done great for Kittle, or Kittle's done great for Kittle, because the tight ends below Kittle have been what? Dwelly that they don't trust, and we don't see very much of. Warner's been, it's like, so, I mean, what do you think about that whole situation?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously we don't know the whole story, but to sit him to tell an employee, hey, I want to go ahead and keep you on my roster, but I'm going to take this title from you, and you're going to lose 60% of your income. That's like if he was making, let's just say he's making $100,000 a year, and they say, hey, by the way, you're making 39,000, come 2022 because we're going to take this position from you. That's a tough pill to swallow. So I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, like if they just said, hey, I mean, like I said, hopefully it was one of those, hey, you know what, we're not going to have an assistant head coach anymore. We're just going to have you just strictly tight ends coach, take it or leave it type thing.
Right.
But for you to just come up to somebody and just say, you can still work for me, because if my job came to me and said, hey, I want you to still do your same job, but I'm going to take away a couple grand from you a month. No, that's not happening. Like, so I don't know. I don't know how that worked out. I want to give the Niners the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, it doesn't sound right. Hopefully, and I know it's probably not going to happen, but hopefully, like somebody like John Lynch or Adam Peters comes out and say, "Hey, look, we're looking at getting rid of this position," and or whatever the case may be. But for him just to be, and I think it didn't look good because all the Brian Flores stuff that's going on.
Exactly.
That made it look that much worse. So It's like, why now? But hey, I don't know. I'm not going to speak on it much because I just don't know what's going on. But hey, it's just. I think the timing was all wrong.
Right. Sim, be safe driving out there in that snow, please. I'm wondering, because we know that Mike McDaniel is, interviewing for the head coaching job for the Dolphins. I think that it would be very stupid to take that job with everything that's going on right now.
Def.
Do you think it's possible that they're trying to give that assistant head coaching job to him?
That's what Peachy just said.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unless they're giving it to Mike McDaniel. Well, here's the thing. Why is Mike McDaniel getting that job? Are you telling Embry he wasn't doing his job? So that's what it comes down to. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'd rather give it to him and not, let's just, Like, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It's so weird to me because if I'm sitting there and I'm the assistant head coach and they say, hey, I want to keep on the roster, but I want to give the job to Mike McDaniel so he doesn't leave for another job. Like, no, like I don't know. It's weird. Like, I don't know.
60.
Yeah,
60.
Actually, it was 61%. If you want to
All
be
right.
technical, it was 61% pay cut. So yeah, same thing as a vice principal. Yeah, so I don't know, but you're right, Peachy. Unless they're giving it to Mike McDaniel, but at the same time, it's like it just looks a little sketchy to me
Yeah.
because I mean I never heard anything about Embry not doing his job. Like the coach that was always talked about being on the hot seat was always Hightower.
Yeah.
So Embry, like, where did that name come from? So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I was so surprised to see that when that came out the other day. But yeah, I guess we'll see who they get to take that, even the tight end spot. Who are they going to fill
Hmm.
that with now?
Yeah.
So, or were they trying to just get a better tight end coach all around? And I don't know. Who knows?
Mm,
I guess we'll try to find out as that
yeah.
info becomes available. um, do you want to start with our grades, or you want to start with what?
Yeah. Oh,
Rams?
no. Well, I mean, I guess we can talk about the game. We don't need to speak too much on it. All I
Real
will say,
quick,
yeah.
before we get into that, JV, I sent you the
Mhm.
link. I don't know if you saw it. If you wanted to jump on, you're more than welcome. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'll keep it quick because I'm sure everybody's been talking about this all week and stuff. Obviously we're done. Nothing else can be said. I'm ready to move on to free agency. I'm ready to move on to bigger and better things at quarterback. But I will say, I don't put this loss on Jimmy. I actually put this is a team loss in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, the defense didn't play well. I don't care what nobody says. They gave up 25 first downs, which was the most since week one. So I don't want to hear this. Oh, don't blame the defense. The defense has a percentage of this loss. I'm sorry. I mean that 15-yard helmet to helmet on Jimmy Ward was unacceptable. That just kept giving him the momentum. He's a veteran. He should have known. I can expect that from Ambry Thomas.
Right.
But I mean, Odell Beckham was already on the ground when he caught that ball. All Jimmy Ward had to go over there is go down there and touch him. He was down already. So for him to get that 15-yard penalty, I mean, Tart not catching the interception, which I'm not even pissed off at the defense because they carried us all season. So Tart dropping that, and then I mean Cooper Cup was running free. Nobody, they weren't getting any man on him. I mean that we dodged a bullet because of that drop in the end zone.
Yeah.
So, the defense was playing well. And the running game, the Rams running game was doing pretty well. Like they were running on us, which what hadn't happened in like 8 weeks. So yeah, I put the blame on everybody on this team. I mean, it's a team loss. I even put some of the blame on Kyle because, once again, he has that monkey on his back about not holding the lead in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Debo not touching the ball after the 10-minute mark was insane to me. How you want to say you want to give your best player the ball and he doesn't touch the ball but once in the fourth quarter. So
Yeah.
the blame goes around to everybody. The defense, it goes to Kyle, it goes to Jimmy. So yeah, like I said, on to bigger and better things. I hope we can trade Jimmy for like maybe a third round pick for this year and hopefully get maybe a day 3 pick from next year, like a third and a fifth or something like that. So yeah, I mean, we played an okay game, but the Rams just wanted it more. And I don't want to hear nothing about the officiating because I felt like it was pretty fair on both sides as far as like, and I get the Rams didn't. There was a couple delay of game calls that should have been called and stuff like that. But you got people doing stuff like Fred Warner that headbutt to Matthew Stafford and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
come on, Fred, like keep your composure. This is an NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's what I will say about that. And then yeah, juice on short yardage. Like, come on, like some of those calls were just horrendous. So yeah, that's what I'll say about the game.
Yeah, those last few calls to end the game were just I don't know what the hell he was thinking. And yeah, Tart's drop was crazy. Like you said, Fred Warner, that was so out of character for him to do
Yes.
that. It seemed like, I don't know, the team was just off, I feel like, from the very beginning. like the defense was just seemed off like the whole game, even though they were playing well, during from parts of the game, but it just didn't seem like how they were clicking the games prior to that. I didn't see that this game. It just seemed like they were a tick off, and I don't know. The Rams, I feel like, played our own game against us. Like the time of possession when they showed it, I think, when was that? Like at the end of the second half or somewhere around there, was like just crazy. The amount of the time that they had the ball over us. And usually that's, we lead that all the time, and Jimmy, I'm not going to blame him, but at the same time, I mean, he definitely didn't do anything to help us. The offense couldn't really do shit. The run game couldn't get going. I mean, I can't say, like I said, last episode, I didn't feel confident about us winning that game. I'm not surprised that we lost that game. And, normally, like with the Super Bowl, I was heartbroken when we lost that. With this game, I wasn't, because I didn't expect us to be there, after the start of the season. And I wasn't confident that we were going to win, to begin with. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's fitting that, Jimmy's last play for us will be an interception. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was praising Jimmy a little bit too, because he threw a dime to Brandon Ayuk outside the numbers. That was a beautiful throw. It was a dime, like it was right on the money. And then the fact that we always sit here and complain about Jimmy not throwing the ball away, and he did it twice. Like he was in trouble, he threw the ball away twice, and the time we needed him to do it the most, he just throws it up for grabs. I'm just like, oh my God, dude, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that, like that. Because, remember I told you, and I'm sure you listened to it, the media had been questioning that, like that week before. Like, how come Jimmy never throws the ball away? Don't you get mad that Jimmy never throws the ball away? And then he all of a sudden decides to do it, at the worst freaking times. It's like, oh my God. Like, that's just what I expect from Jimmy,
Yeah.
So, yes, we have, the Rams obviously won 20-17. The Bengals beat Kansas City. I was glad to see that, 27-24. So Rams against the Bengals. Who do you got in that game?
I think the Rams are going to win.
Yeah.
I think so. I know everybody's talking about Joe Cool and his destiny and all this stuff, but I just feel like it's going to be the Rams. I just feel like, they're rolling right now. I think they have a better overall roster, and I think they just have the pedigree, like, with Von Miller playing in the Super Bowl. And, I don't know. I just think the Bengals are a pretty young team, and I understand they beat the Titans. I understand they beat the Chiefs, but I just think the Rams are going to, I don't know. I just have a feeling it's going to be the Rams.
Yeah. I would like the Bengals to win. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like they're making it this so perfectly set up for the Rams to win. The Rams are at home. The Rams did all these crazy trades and got Stafford, and now Stafford has a team around him, and he's leading them to the Super Bowl, and yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
So that's what I feel like is going to happen.
I feel the same way.
I would like the Bengals to win.
Oh, for sure. That's why I want to win. But my gut feeling, I'm going to say I think it's the Rams. I just have a feeling. And two, like, it's funny too, because their team is pretty stacked like that. Van Jefferson kid's pretty good. And people are forgetting, like, next year, Robert Woods will be back. Yeah. So, I mean, having Cooper Kupp, Odell, and Woods, that's going to be a pretty scary team for at least the next 2-3 years. So, yeah, we'll see.
So I'm done talking about
him. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
That ended the season for us. So, that doesn't mean that we're not going to be here. We're still going to be coming with our shows each week. Like we said last week, we're going to be starting a Saturday show to do once a month as well. So we're going to have a lot of off-season content, NFL period, draft stuff, going to have content creators on. So yeah, we'll still be here, even though 49ers season ended. um, so the team did their final wrap-up interviews. We heard from Jimmy. Jimmy said his goodbyes. He told the media, thank you, goodbye. He told the faithful, thank you, goodbye. What did you think about that, Presser? JV, you
Mm,
ready?
I mean, yeah, I mean, showed a man who was grateful for the opportunity. He understands it's his last ride with us, and he went out with respect and as far as like the way his speech was like, and I think all year he's been pretty professional about it.
JV,
Like
you ready?
so I think he's been pretty professional about it. Like, he never complained and, stuff like that. And like, I know I should be the starter. Like he just kind of did whatever he needed to do. But I feel like it was funny. I feel like all year though, since he knew he was on his way out, he would always say he would always say the opposite of what Kyle would say. Did you understand that? You notice that too? He just like, yeah, Kyle said this, but no, this is what really like I felt like he was kind of going against the grain a little bit because he didn't care.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he's been a good guy. I wish him the best, uh hopefully, and he said he wanted to be traded to a winning team. It wasn't a demand, but it was something he wanted to do. But yeah, I'd like to see him somewhere like, Washington or, maybe the Saints, somebody like that, who I think already has a decent amount of weapons because they have Michael Thomas and what's that guy's name? I can't think of the guy's name. The running back, what's his name for the Saints?
Oh,
my mind went blank. But anyway,
yeah.
But then you got the Commanders with Scary Terry, and then they have Antonio Gibson, and they got De'Ami Brown. So they got some. Both team has some decent weapons. So my man JV,
what's up, fam?
somebody help me out in the chat. What's the running back's name again for the Saints?
Kamara?
Alvin Kamara. There you go.
Yeah,
Alvin Kamara. There you go. There you go.
There you go.
I couldn't think that the people in the chat helped me. I could not think of his name for my life. I kept wanting to say Kareem Hunt for some reason, but I know that wasn't him. But yeah, Alvin Kamara.
JV, what's up?
What's going on, fam?
How you doing?
Much, man.
I'm getting over it. I'm getting through it. I haven't turned on ESPN or listened to a pod, honestly, since Sunday. I mean, I love Breezy to death. I try, but I can't. I'm still so bitter. I'm so pissed. I don't know. I'm hurting, everybody took that time to wish Jimmy off, Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I do, but I do and I don't.
Yeah.
We've blown 2 leads with you at some capacity in the franchise's biggest times. We blew a Super Bowl. We blew a Super Bowl appearance. It's hard. But I'm ready. I said it and I meant it, I'm ready to grow with Trey. I'm ready to take my bumps and bruises and I took my bumps and bruises with a vet, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
In some of the biggest stages, on 2 of the biggest stages. So if I can handle that catastrophe, then I can grow with Trey. I'm thrilled. Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Same.
One thing that Jimmy said that I do, I guess, appreciate is that he said he wanted to leave the place better than how he found it. And as much ups and downs that we had, it's definitely better than when he found it. This franchise was hurting when we traded for Jimmy G. And I would say not because of him, but, whatever the reasons are, we're definitely in a way better spot now. So I definitely think that's true. And, I do appreciate the fact that, he didn't take us to a Super Bowl. Obviously, we know that. But we did get to the Super Bowl with him and lost, like you said, as much as everybody wants to say. Not
because of him.
Right.
We got there. He came along, but he wasn't the reason.
He contributed. Right. He contributed, but he's not but he didn't take us there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so does the long snapper. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
everybody contributes. So, but at the end of the day, you're the leader. You are supposed to bring us home.
Yeah.
And I think Jimmy failed to do that. And, I'm not going to be mad at the defense. I'm not mad at Tart. I was mad. But going back and thinking about how many times the defense put the ball back in Jimmy's hand, I mean, I'm not going to hold one. All right, you miffed a catch.
Yeah.
You whiffed it. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not it shouldn't come to that. We shouldn't leave it to the refs, and we shouldn't leave it to just one play.
One player. I got a question for you, JV. What are your thoughts of Debo only touching the ball once in the fourth quarter?
I don't understand. I mean, I don't want to give you guys the wrong vibe. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to make any kind of, I'm just going to touch.
Sure.
Because of what has surfaced with Flores and the bribe, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes things like that, like why did Debo touch the ball one time in the fourth quarter? It makes my head, like if I didn't already think that, like conspiracy, but really not. Like if I didn't think that before this shit with Flores surfaced, it just makes you wonder, bro. Like, at what capacity is the league, quote unquote, fixed? I've always known that referees, they give you an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody told me, I was like, refs fix football, and they're like, referees don't fix football. They capitalize on opportunity. And if you think about it, like if there's a suspect call, there will be one. Sometimes it goes both ways. It did in this Super Bowl. I mean, it did in this NFC Championship. I saw a few suspect things, and the refs called it fair both ways. So I'm not going to complain too much, except for the double zeros on the clock when Stafford had the ball twice that I can remember.
Games, yep, I agree with them.
But we got away with Trent pissing off on the line. You know what I'm saying? Like they let him get away with a few. So I don't know, bro. I don't have an answer for why did he only get one touch? It's crazy suspect. When I think Debo right now, it's like my heart is broken for him. He carried us on his back, and I mean quite literally, right? He drug us on his back through the thick of it, and it was special, fam. Like, it had such a special vibe to it that we just needed a drive from Jimmy. One more of those special drives, bro. Just put something together. If it's ugly, I didn't care. Just get us downfield, bro. That's all I asked of you. Instead, 1 of 6 -3 INT. That's your last drive.
Yep.
That's your final hurrah. Just
Yeah.
But it makes no sense, bro. Like, why didn't you? Why didn't you put the ball in Debo's hands more? They were stacking the box and they were taking quite a bit away from us. Maybe Trent was just hurting, bro. And you're not going to not go to Trent's side.
Absolutely.
Right? So
a 70% Trent is still better than 100% Tom Compton. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And at the time, maybe Shanny thought, this final drive that Jimmy bombed, maybe that was Kyle's. Maybe Kyle apologized, like, yo, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought maybe we could string something together long enough to get you involved on the final drive, just like he did in Green Bay, But Kyle's got a lot of apologizing to do now because it's hindsight. It sucks. I really thought we'd have a shot, bro. I mean, at least to tie it up. I thought we could get in field goal range and make a run for it and try. Yeah. The fact that that's how we went out, fam, and I mean, I'm calm now, but on my show, guys, I was furious. And I mean, I still am a little bit, but I just don't want to chase. I don't want y'all getting in trouble. But I don't know, man. I'm bummed out. I'm so bummed out. But I do want Burrow in that suspect O line. I really want them to handle him, man. And I think that Zach Taylor being a product of the McVay tree, I think that the familiarity there between the two teams is going to be amazing.
Yep.
I think it's going to be amazing because Zach Taylor knows exactly what McVay's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just all you need to do is run the ball better than we did. Just try, because I mean, if you don't think Trent was still hurt, at least I do. I believe Trent was still hurt, and I know he was. I know he was hurting, and I think our run game might have actually suffered because of it, just a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Ambry Thomas was fully healthy either from that bruise, from that bone bruise.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and I know that we get desperate. I know that Shanahan like really asks a little bit more of you, you know, like if you're 40%, bro, can you push it 60? Just give me the best you can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm bummed because I think that, you know, I think we're hurting, man. I think Trent was hurting and hurting bad. And maybe Shanahan was just trying to put the ball in Kyle's hand or put the ball in Jimmy's hands. Just, bro, can you for a minute? Can you just extend the drive a little bit? I mean, he was throwing the ball away. He was moving out of the pocket. Come on, bro.
I said the same thing before you came on. I said the same thing before you came on, JV. I'm like, it was funny because, you know, we sit here and we always say like, man, this dude never throws a ball away. But in this game, he threw it away twice. I'm like, man, he's actually throwing the ball away when he's in trouble. And then the time we needed him to throw the ball away the most, he just throws it up for grabs. I'm like, oh my God, like, dude, this is when we need you to throw it away. Like, live to play another down. Like, oh my God, dude, it's just, I don't know. Man. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, and like you said, it's hard to blame the defense when they held the Rams to 20 points. If the Niners can't score more than 20 points, you know, like, come on. You know, like the defense didn't, you know, this was probably, you know, their worst game in a while, but let's not act like they went out there and gave up, you know, freaking 40 points to the Rams. Like, that's not what happened. And then with the Bengals, you know, like, hopefully, yeah, like you said, they can run a little bit more, but they can also put the game on their quarterback's arm, unlike the 49ers, and Burrow can make throws and maybe score more than 17 points. So,
yep.
Hey, they came from behind on the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs come from behind, bro. You don't come from behind the Chiefs.
Right.
Down 21-3.
Not with these implications, right? Like this is an AFC. You're knocking on the Super Bowl door, bro. And listen, again, she's right, bro. You put the ball in Burrow's hands and Jimmy couldn't.
Yeah.
Just couldn't.
It's true. Are you staying on long enough to go through the grades with us? We're going through the offense, defense, and special team grades.
I'll stick around for as long as you guys want, man. If you guys want to kick me, I'll kick.
Nah.
I'm good. I got time. I'm hanging.
So before we get into this, we talked to Peachy. Peachy's coming here for the draft to Vegas. And so if your boys are serious about coming, let me know. You got my phone number. Just let me know, bro. And I know we're going to John Chapman's meet and greet with Fred Warner and Elijah Mitchell on that Thursday. So we're going to do that. But Friday is a day that we actually pick because, you know, I doubt we're going to trade into the first round. But we pick, I think, 61 in the second round. So, yeah, if you guys want to go somewhere to one of the sports books to watch the draft and then go eat at one of the steakhouses, just let me know, brother. And then I'll get that stuff set up.
Yeah, I'll talk to them and get serious about it, man, for sure. If anything, I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
What's up, Ash?
Bashar, what up?
Bashar, what's up, fam? Yeah, man,
right.
I'll definitely get back with you. I see Nick's in the chat. If he's serious about it, at least he and I can get together.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah. Just let me know, man. Like I said, you got my phone number, so just holler at me, man.
Yeah, you're right, I guess, Nick. You're right. I guess teams did give the Chiefs a run.
Yeah. And what more impressive is they did it in KC. Like, they came back within a hostile environment and came back and just – it was impressive, man.
Yeah, I thought that game was over at the beginning, man. I'm like, there's no way they're coming back.
Yeah,
they sure
I think I think Brady retiring he's putting the league in good hands. I think there's a lot of talent out here. I think the league will be all right.
You know what I was saying too? I was like, man, and I'm not. This is not a biased take, but I'm just going off of the NFC quarterback. Depending on what goes on with Aaron Rodgers, because I feel like he might go to an AFC team. He might be going to Denver because his tight ends culture. Somebody went and got hired over there as an offensive coordinator. So, with Herbert, Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, all in the AFC. The NFC could really be traced for the. Isn't it though? Like the AFC is stacked at quarterback, and for that reason alone, with Aaron Rodgers possibly leaving, Russell Wilson getting older in age, the NFC could be traced for the taking in the next couple of years if he's what we think he can be.
And Russell Wilson's not just getting up there in age; he could be leaving as well. So
exactly, he might be going somewhere else. Hopefully, he goes to like a Pittsburgh or something like that. If he goes, and then the NFC quarterback play is not going to be very good. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it as a whole, you know what I'm saying?
Where does Russ fit though? Russ doesn't fit in Green Bay.
He fits in Pittsburgh to me. I think Pittsburgh would be a great fit.
He does, but I mean, what if Jimmy goes to Pittsburgh?
I wouldn't. Well, before all this went out, I was saying that I wouldn't have been surprised if, because he's married to Sierra and she's all about doing her concerts and stuff like that. Sure. What I was saying was him going down to Miami in a swap for Tua, so at least Pete Carroll can have a young quarterback to groom. Him going to Miami because they do have some solid weapons down there. But now with all this going on, I doubt he'll want to take a trade down to Miami. But I think Pittsburgh will be a great fit for Russell Wilson, just because they like to push the ball down the field with those weapons with Schuster and Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. Like, they got weapons, man. And Russell Wilson's one of the best deep ball throwers in the league. So that'd be a great fit for him. But who knows, man? Bashar, it's your birthday, brother?
The Pittsburgh line. Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah,
I'll be sure to wish you one on Twitter too. I just feel like Pittsburgh's O-line and Seattle's O-line just aren't much different, with the exception of a few pieces. But I mean, I feel like he's going to want to go. Russell wants to go somewhere where he can be. I think he fits in New Orleans.
That'd be. I mean, to be honest, there's no bad place for Russell Wilson. He'll go anywhere and excel. But Bashar, Sierra said that. Sierra was saying that she took a break because she was pregnant with the kids, but she said that come 2022, 23, she's going to start performing again. So, yeah, I think she wants to be in a bigger market like a New York or something, Miami. So, yeah, she was pregnant like back to back. You know what I'm saying? So, I think now that the kids are getting a little bit older, I think now she wants to perform again. So,
she might as well. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of time left, man. She's going to be tied up with the kids. She might as well take advantage of the next few years and get her concerts in when she can and lock something down in Vegas. Wink, wink, right?
Yeah. I think he would fit in Vegas.
Derek Carr could bounce out of there. I think Derek Carr fits in Pittsburgh.
He does.
And Sims says that he could see Russell in Washington. That's a possibility too, right?
Him and Scary Terry together, yeah. Bring the Ran in, yeah.
So let's jump into our grades then.
All right, we'll start with the offense. I'll talk about the positions, or I'm going to go position by position, then go to you and JV. Okay, I'll just start off with the quarterback position. Okay. I'm giving the quarterback position a C-. I'm going to do that as a whole with seeing Trey come in and play well in Houston. And then, his game he had in Arizona was kind of lackluster because of the play calling, but I'm not going to sit here and give Jimmy a D. He played fairly well. As far as, I feel like he lost us a few games, but he did throw 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. So, that's about what we expected. But the fact that we got into the playoffs at 10-7, I'll give the quarterback position a C-. But so what about you, Miriah?
For the season?
This is for the whole season. Yeah, from week one. Okay. The whole season. This is the total grade from each position. So
week 1 through playoffs.
Yep.
I didn't do any minus or pluses, so I just gave them a straight up C. And for the same reasons that you just said. We didn't see, we saw mediocre Jimmy, and mediocre is a C to me. So we didn't see much of Trey as we wanted to, and I mean, it is what it is.
Such bullshit. That really burns me up. That really, really burns me up.
What about you, JV? Or do you want to pass on this? Because
No,
you
I'll
probably
give
weren't prepared. Okay.
Is Jimmy and the offensive line going to be one grade?
No, just quarterback play. We're doing We're doing
offensive lines. Its own.
offensive lines.
I'm gonna
Its
give-
own. Yeah.
I'm going to give Jimmy a C. I'll give him a C, a solid C.
Nice.
I think there was quite a bit left on the field for us throughout the season. I think we could go back and find quite a few reads that were more beneficial to us. I think we should have scored more points in some of the games that we were in. So I believe that Jimmy deserves a C, maybe even a C minus, just for what he left on the field.
Nice.
But I'll go with a C for now.
Okay, cool. All right, jumping into the running back position, I'm going to give that position group a B. Elijah Mitchell did well, but it's not because of his play, because he didn't fumble all year. So kudos to him. I give it a B just because I feel like the way that they were used wasn't good enough. Like, I feel like, with Elijah Mitchell, I mean, he had 4 separate injuries this year. And I was getting irritated because I'm just like, man, why don't you use Trey Sermon more? Why don't you use, like, I felt like you had a 1-2 punch you could have used and to kind of take some pressure off of Elijah Mitchell. So hopefully going into next season, I hope it's better, because he was used like a workhorse. And like I said, it went from his calf to his rib to a concussion. And then he had 4 separate injuries. And that's not good for a rookie running back, which the shelf life of a running back is already not good. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So
it gets worse in this system.
Absolutely.
It takes another 2 years off.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm gonna get the position group of B for the running backs.
Happy birthday, Joel. I'm giving them a C for the reason that, Elijah Mitchell was, good throughout the season. However, I'm not grading Debo as a running back. I see it that we had to use Debo as a running back because our running back room wasn't good enough. And we didn't see very much from any of our other running backs. So, yeah.
Nice.
That's what I give.
No, that's good. No, that's a fair point there.
I'm so impressed by Elijah Mitchell. I not one singular fumble this season, right? That's just amazing for a rookie. I want to give. To grade the whole room as a whole, I would have to go with like a C plus, because Elijah was lights out. Jeffrey Wilson came back when need be, and he did well. He did well when called upon for what we had. I mean, Hasty was just like sprinkled. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't nothing to even. It can't even sway my grade. So I'm going to say C plus, and I'm going to say pretty much that C plus isn't entirely because of Elijah Mitchell. I think unfortunately he was just paired up with one of the worst running back rooms in not in, like, I'd say, like, imagine him paired up with Mostert, Brady, and what's his face? Went to New York.
In New York.
The Jets.
Coleman.
Kevin Coleman.
Yeah. Imagine if you just had like a like if you like that running back room. That would have been that would have been amazing this season. Amazing. Because you could get those yards. Coleman would have been perfect as a backup. So I'm going to say a C plus.
C
man,
plus.
and it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, that's fair. And hopefully, I mean, too, I remembered when Kyle was in Atlanta, and I remember how he used Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman, and they never got hurt. We need to have a running back room like that where they're getting a fair share of carries. Obviously, Mitchell's going to get the majority because he is a starting running back, but like Trey Sermon should have been getting at least like 7 to 8 carries a game just to take some pressure off him, the wear and tear, stuff like that. Like, and he's more of a bruiser too. So yeah. So I agree. I mean, I think you guys have some fair grades on that though. And Melissa, you saying he does not need to go. I'm sorry. I agree. Well, this is what I will say though. Melissa, Kyle Juszczyk as a running back, I don't like it. I don't like how he's used. He's a great blocker. I like him more in the passing game. Juice is nasty in the
Yeah,
passing game.
he is.
So that's
But for
what
what we pay, I think that's her biggest gripe.
yeah.
Is that we're for what we're paying, the number that we're giving him
Yeah.
to do that. But I
Yeah.
feel like he fits. Like he's just, like Kyle loves to keep around his guys, right?
His fullbacks, yeah. Plus,
His
he's
fullbacks.
always had a fullback too. But what bugs me about Kyle Juszczyk is when they brought him in from Baltimore, they were always kept saying he's an offensive weapon. But yet he's rarely used, which bugs me because that dude is he's good when he's out in space and stuff, man. So yeah.
Real quick to touch on Elijah Mitchell, I did like how they used him, in the passing game against the Rams, the couple times that we did see it, but he gained, quite a few yards each time that they used him, so I would like to see them using him, like that more going forward.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Wide receiver room, I'm going to give them an A- because Debo was just played out of his mind. And the only reason why they don't have a solid A from me is because the way it started out with Brandon Ayuk. Like this, him not being used and stuff like that. This has nothing to do with his ability. Right. But I feel like what would his offensive look like if Kyle wasn't messing around and putting Brandon Ayuk there, instead of playing Mohamed Sanu over him. And that was just ridiculous to me. So, yeah, Debo obviously did his thing. And we got a surprise in Juwan Jennings. I like this young man going forward. Yeah. Like I think our wide receiver room for the first three receivers are good. I think we need to bring in like a veteran, and then I would like to draft like a rookie just so, a speedster who can probably handle kickoff returns, punt returns, stuff like that, and be used as a fast slot, kind of like in the Taylor Gabriel mode that he had when he was with Atlanta. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's why I get the wide receiver room.
Yeah, I gave him an A as well. Obviously, Debo, carried this team to where we, got, and then the same Ayuk, once we finally saw him used how he should be used, he had a great season. And yeah, what we saw from Juwan, I love the way that he plays. Me too. I love the energy that he brings, and like you said, that's a great, 1, 2, 3 right there. I would like, kind of touching on the off subject into the draft a little bit, but the wide receiver that Trey Lance had, number 1.
Oh, Christian Watson or whatever. Yes.
Yeah. I've been seeing, what the guys are posting a lot of videos on him because he's at the Senior Bowl this week. And
211 pounds, right?
Yeah.
6'2" or 6'3".
6'2", 6'3", yeah. Yep. Runs like a 4.5 40, yeah.
They're saying that he could possibly he's 4.3, 4.4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he might be faster than what they're saying, huh?
Yep. He takes sweeps, like he freaking, he's like smoking the defenders out there too. They were worried about, how he would do against, the speed of people outside of, that type of school. And they said, that he's smoking them there too. So I would love to see that pairing.
Before we go to JV, I hate these cats. I hate when these cats say, "Oh, is he going to cook the defenders? How is he going to look because he's coming from FCS?" Like, when are they going to stop that? When are they going to stop? A football player is a football player. I don't care what school he went to. Like, haven't they learned this? I mean, it's ridiculous to me. Go ahead, JV. It's crazy to me, man.
Man, it's so hard to give a grade. Like I want to give Debo. I just want to put him over here all by himself, right? And just give you an A+, bro. Like you were amazing, but because you had to be what you were because of a one-read quarterback, and that unfortunately brings down the grade for the rest of the group. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't all that impressive. Like when Benjamin's out there, I'm not happy. I don't want to see him I don't even want to see him returning the ball, much less you throwing a screen to Benjamin. Or I don't want to see that. He can't catch. You can't throw him. Terrible mess. You know what I mean? Terrible mix. I'm going to say a B+. but not because, and Debo doesn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? But because the quarterback limits the wide receiver room, it's hard to give them all an A. You know what I mean? For me, I just feel like, I just feel like Jimmy just limited everyone. You know what I mean? And I don't even want to sit here and bash him. I just feel like you limited our weapons. You limited the way that Ayuk could be used because you couldn't deliver that far out or make those throws. Although you did hit him outside the numbers along the sideline, which was
a nice
a great
throw.
throw. But how many can we get?
Exactly.
Josh Allen could probably string that together 3 times in a drive. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. Isn't that funny, JV? How like he throws a 25-yard pass outside the numbers, and we're like so happy to see it.
Dying. You do that. You throw the ball away. You move out of the pocket. You gave us a show of a life. You gave us a show of a lifetime. Except you didn't. You forgot your famous 2-minute drives. Like, where was that explosive stringing them together, not thinking about it? You know, Miriah. Like, where was it? Where? What happened? You know, like I think the defense just didn't get enough time, right? I mean, Jimmy put them back on the field. They were getting pressure the first quarter. It was awesome. Pressure, and you could see it slowly fall off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just we couldn't string together drives to keep it going. So I don't know, man. I hate to say a B+, and Debo deserves his own
category,
wide
basically.
receiver 1, RB1, you know.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. We're limited. We were limited.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it's not even a bad thing. I don't even want to make it like that's just who you are, bro. And I'm not even mad at you for it. You did what you had to do. I was mad at you for things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've accepted who you were, and I'd be lying to you guys if I said when Jimmy was peacing out, it wasn't a little bit rough, because I love Jimmy, the man.
Sure.
Good dude, represented this franchise with no bullshit. He didn't put us in the headlines. He didn't embarrass us. He was a class act. He dealt for, as far as we know, he dealt with the quarterback controversy well, you know? Right. So yeah, when he peaced out, I was like, Jim, damn, you know, but it's time. It's time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, brother. So a couple questions. Olave, he's a beast for Ohio State.
Love him.
Don't think he'll be there at 61, but I love that guy. Even though I'm a Wolverines fan, the dude is a beast. Him on this offense would be ugly. Like, we would not be able to be stopped with those 4 receivers and Jennings, Debo, and Ayuk. It wouldn't be fair, to be honest. And then you got Kittle as well. Like, it wouldn't be fair. But yeah, man. I love Olave. And then you're right, Michael. People out here talking about Ayuk like he's a bust because of his numbers. Somebody tried to say he was only as good as Kendrick Bourne because they both had 800 yards this year. I'm like, man, miss me with that. Yes, bro. Like,
no fault of their own. Exactly. No fault of their own.
Miss me with that.
I mean, he did well out there with the rookie quarterback in New England. I don't know if he put up 800, but I saw quite a bit of Bourne, and you know, with competent quarterback play, you would have seen a lot more of Bourne here in San Francisco.
Absolutely.
I think so for sure.
Yeah. Tight end group. So I'm gonna put them in I'm gonna give them a C only because Warner and Kittle helped out the running game tremendously. They're great blockers and stuff, but as far as for a passing stance, I can't go any higher than a C because I feel like they underperform. It's probably, like you said, not because of their own selves, because you can see in all games, you see Kittle was wide open a lot. It's just, you know, he was either overthrown, underthrown, he didn't get the ball, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I'm going to give them as a whole a C just because I expected a little bit more out of Kittle. I thought he was going to have a phenomenal year, but, you know, it is what it is. But Kittle is just an amazing blocker at the tight end position, man. And Charlie Warner, I mean, for him to step up as well when Kittle was hurt, like, he's a great blocker as well. We just need, hopefully, going into next season, we don't have to worry about all that, and we can use Kittle more as his skill set and be a better tight end, receiving tight end, kind of like in the mold of Kelsey. So, that's what I got.
I gave him a C as well, and like you said, I thought we were going to see more out of Kittle, but at the same time, he's also damaged because of his quarterback. But besides that, yeah, we saw Warner a little bit, but I'm not ready to say Warner's great by any means. And then we have nothing. So who else are we supposed to grade there?
Yeah.
So yeah, I see. And like with the wide receivers, I'm hoping to see a great year from Kittle, next season from,
Absolutely.
being paired up with Trey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we saw a limited role for Kittle this year because of the he needed to take a back seat to the run game and pass and block more?
Yeah.
Do you feel like he had to sacrifice stats this year to be a bigger part of the run game?
I do. Because of that right side of the line.
Yeah.
Like after Mike McGlinchey got hurt as well, like they were just like, we need him to be more of a blocker. So yeah, I think he did. I think he sacrificed a lot this year because he should have been 1,000-yard tight end easy.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
That and he was injured since like week 1.
Yeah.
It came out.
Yeah, he was. They could have been disguising injury, right? They could have. I agree with you guys. I'll give a C. I think. I mean, we're not really given much, like Miriah said. I mean, Holkett hasn't shown much, right? We haven't utilized him yet. Dwelly can't block, but has good hands, and it's just a shame because you need a guy with hands. If you could just block, bro, we would have a complete package on both sides of the. I mean, it would be pretty dope. But unfortunately, I don't think we see Dwelly next year.
No, I think he's gone.
And Warner seems to. I think they're grooming him to be what they need, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw him a little bit. I mean, he didn't do terrible. He wasn't the worst man on the field.
No.
But I'll give it a C. Also, guys, there's really not much to go from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Offensive line, last group on the offense. I'm gonna give them a B- because Tom Compton and Daniel Brunskill met expectations and exceeded expectations. I was shocked how well they played, and at one point, Tom Compton was rated higher than Trent Williams at offensive tackle.
Yeah.
So that's funny, but yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, Tom Compton was playing well.
Somebody was high when they wrote that stat.
I was scared. I'm like, man, it's funny because I don't know about you guys. I didn't see any change from Tom Compton and Mike McGlinchey, who Tom Compton is old. He was a day 3 pick. You got Mike McGlinchey, a top 15 pick, and I didn't see any different. You know what I'm saying? As far as the offensive line play. Matter of fact, it got better once Mike McGlinchey got hurt. So yeah, that's what I'll give the offensive line, just because, well, obviously we got Trent Williams and Lake and Alex Mack, who are beast, but that right side of the line, if you told me before the season that we're going to play majority of our season with Tom Compton and Daniel Brunskill a guard, I was going to say that we're going to be in some serious trouble. So
yeah, I give him a B as well, and for the same exact reasons. And also, I was surprised at the first couple games. I was kind of scared how Alex Mack was looking, but he ended up finishing, really great for us. And obviously, like you said, the left side's great. The right side filled in better than I was expecting. So, yeah.
I think I'll give him a B+. I was really impressed by Alex Mack this year. Healthy. I think he was awesome. I think Tom Compton was Tom Compton. Just step up, man. Here in San Francisco, it's next man up, and it's not even just a saying. Like, we really mean that. Like, you have big shoes to fill, so you better get in them. So I don't know, man. I think the offensive line at times. I think Tomlinson was a bit suspect. What else? Who else was out there? Who else filled in at
Brunskill?
Brunskill?
You got Brunskill. Jalen Moore played a couple times when Trent Williams was hurt, and he did pretty well. And then you had
why not even just a little bit of Jalen Moore in the NFC Championship?
I don't know, man.
Rotate. Why not try?
Yeah, because Tom Compton was getting destroyed.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then Colton McKivitz played well when Trent Williams got hurt. Remember, I think he started against the Rams. Colton
McKivitz.
McKivitz, yeah, he played well.
I just I think I'll give him a B plus. I was impressed. They each had their own. They had some hiccups. There was even some miscommunications throughout the season a few times on the line, but I believe Alex Mack was a huge contribution to what kept that line solid. Column protections, just really being a veteran, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's where the majority of my grade goes between the center position and Trent at left tackle.
Absolutely.
Like I was impressed, and health was good. Health across the line on the offensive line for the most part was pretty good.
Yeah,
we couldn't say that in the last few seasons.
and what I will say too is, you look at the offensive line. Mac, Tomlinson, and Trent Williams will be playing in the Pro Bowl this Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
All three of them,
Pretty
because Mac and Tomlinson were Pro Bowl alternatives. So, yeah, cool. So that's I think all of us are pretty much equal as far as our grades for the offense. So we'll start the defense, and I'll start off with the D line. And the D line, I'm gonna give them a B plus. I thought there would be more sacks than there was. I had high hopes for D4 because I thought he was healthy, and that didn't pan out. But I would have gave them an A if they would have played the way they played from like week 9 on. Because once they move Eric Armstead inside, this defense line started to thrive. Like Arden Key started coming into his own. Ebelcom started getting to his own. Then we made the trade for Charles Omenihu, and he contributed. So I think once they got in the groove and figured out the best pieces to play on that defensive line, I think we're just unstoppable. And after they put Eric Armstead inside, we didn't allow a 100-yard rusher at all. So, yeah, I think I would say a B plus only because the pressure didn't start until midway through the season. So.
Right. And for the same exact reasons, I gave him a B as well.
Then you guys are gonna hate me. I think I was
okay.
I'm adding D'Amico to my grade, and I'm giving him a solid A, man. I thought it was amazing. I think what he did as a first year coordinator, which caught the interest of a head coaching position. I just think the defense deserves a solid A for me, man. I was really impressed with the way that Bosa bounced back. Arden Key, Willis,
yeah,
right?
Yep. After he came back from being suspended,
yeah, man,
he played well.
I'm giving the defense an A, man. I was impressed, and I think D'Amico. I'm just so happy to have him back, you two. I mean, I am so happy to have him back. Yeah. That was like, if there could be just a little bit of positivity after that loss, knowing he would come back. Oh man, that gave me some hope, gave me some hope.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, cool. D line. So B and A for the D line. Okay. Linebacking core. I'm giving them an A. Even though people were saying all year that Fred Warner didn't play well, he still played pretty good. He was still a top 5 Mike linebacker. So I'll give him props. And then the reason why too is whenever anybody gets injured on this linebacking core, we don't skip a beat, man. That's why I tell people like really D'Amico Ryans used to be the linebackers coach, and he has groomed these linebackers. Our highest drafted linebacker is Fred Warner and a 3rd round pick. You know what I'm saying? And then 2, the emergence of Azeez Al-Shaair was just amazing this year. There was times during the season where he was playing better than Fred Warner.
Yes.
So him being a free agent, he's good thing he's restricted. I hope they put like a 2nd round tender on him just so it's hard for people to take him from us. I don't think he's worth that, but I just hope they do just because. Just like give me a 2nd round pick and you can have him, but I hope they retain that man. And then 2, like, you got to give shout out to like when they were hurt, because we had injuries from Dre Greenlaw and Azeez all year. And then you got Flanagan Fowles that came in and did great. And then you had Marcel Harris, who was safety turn linebacker, who made some plays. So yeah, I give that group an A.
Yep. I give them an A as well. I think that they were probably our most solid position group out of, across the board. So, yeah. And
I give them
and everything you just said.
I agree. I think then A for me as well. I really need Fred to get in front of the jugs machine.
Yeah.
I really want him to catch. Just polish up a little bit on that. You dropped many INTs this season.
Yes.
There were opportunities. He was my X factor in the Super Bowl in 2019, and he came up with a big time pick. But yeah, I just if I had to criticize Fred Warner for anything, it's that I just want you to catch better. Yeah. You've already done everything else, and I don't have PFF, so I don't get to see like player grades and all that stuff. Do you have all that, T?
I don't really pay attention to PFF anyway.
No.
Right.
Their grades are kind of sketchy sometimes. So yeah. And it was funny how you say that about Fred Warner. When he was at BYU, he was a strong safety / rover. So I'm kind of surprised his hands aren't as good because he used to pick people off. I mean, obviously the balls probably weren't being thrown as hard or whatever the case may be. When he was a rover at BYU, he was he was a pretty good ball hawk, man. But yeah, you're right. That's why too. It's like people talk more about Bobby Wagner and Darius Leonard because they do get interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Like when the ball comes to them, they pick it off. So that's the only
for
issue.
$90 million.
You be able to pick that ball off.
I need a few INTs this season.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. So yeah. So I think we're all in agreement with the linebackers. Secondary, I'm giving them a B-. And the reason why I say that is because of the injuries. Yeah. We were playing with undrafted corners, people from the street, and we're still winning games at one point. And then what's funny about it is even though we had horrendous pass interference calls, we were still sixth in the NFL with as far as sixth in the NFL passing yards allowed. So we're playing great. Like, even with all the pass interferences from Josh Norman. And then, Emmanuel Mosley during the regular season only gave up 28 yards a game and didn't allow any touchdowns. Impressive. Like for him being an undrafted guy out of Tennessee, he's put a staple on his team to say, I am a starting cornerback going forward. And then Ambry Thomas, the way he developed going forward, like, we all kept saying, like, put the rookie in. I'm tired of seeing Drake Kirkpatrick and Josh Norman and all these scrubs. I'm sorry. I know they're NFL players, but when you're picking up Buster Screen and all these dudes off the street, when it doesn't make sense to me when you drafted a third-round corner. So you saw something in him, but yet at one point you felt these undrafted guys or these guys sitting on their couches was better than him. It just didn't make sense to me. So in saying that, because of the pass interference calls and all this other stuff and the way they handled that situation, I'm going to give them a B- for that secondary.
Yeah, I gave them a C, and they're just across the board. The injuries are, safeties, the corners. Mosley might have had whatever, only allowed this many passes, but he sure wasn't available very often. And that's just, you're not available. So how can I give you any better grade than that?
Yeah.
And yeah. I think I'm going to go with a C-. There was just no consistency out of the secondary at all. And the injuries, I've taken them into consideration. I do, but Norman, be better. Dante Johnson, you've been around. You had one standout game, in my opinion, which was Green Bay. But just nothing consistent with the secondary. Ambry's growth was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tie that into, to my grade. I just think as a whole, it wasn't too impressive. And I can't remember what his name is. The guy who's the secondary coach?
I don't even know who the secondary coach is. Sim, I think you might know. You were Bashar. You guys probably know that answer, but yeah, I'm not sure if the secondary
You
coaches.
know, looking at where what's his face is in Cleveland right now as an OC,
Mhm.
he probably could have used another year in San Francisco before moving on to be or DC. I'm sorry, DC.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
Robert Woods.
Hmm.
I feel like, you know, he needed a little bit more time, and I would have loved to see him with the secondary and how he would have dealt with the next man up, because I feel like we did good at secondary. And we also had JV. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going to stick with a C minus, man.
Cool. Yeah. And the thing that was embarrassing, I think we talked about this weeks ago. I think it was after that Colts game. Like, these are professionals. And then the fact that you had Josh Norman, who was once a Pro Bowler, and Drake Kirkpatrick, who had all these years in, they were practicing drills, ball skills of ball when they're in the air and how to play the ball while it's in the air. Like, come on, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Why would you have to teach somebody who's been in the league a decade how to make plays on the ball while it's in the air? Like, that's just embarrassing. You know what I mean? And the only thing that Josh Norman did good for us is all the punch outs he did. You know, that peanut punch came in handy on a few games, and it helped us create some turnovers and stuff. So yeah, I agree. Special teams.
JV was once a Pro Bowler. Come on, bro.
Who?
I want to say JV was once a Pro Bowler. You know, like, why couldn't Josh Norman show out? Why couldn't he be? Why couldn't we have a better version of Josh Norman? Why do we have this bully? You know what I mean? Like, bro, you cost us more yards and penalties than you did anything else.
Yeah. I mean, because we found him underneath the couch cushion. He wasn't supposed to be playing. He was supposed to be not playing.
I mean, we were sitting there playing at one point, starting Drake Kirkpatrick and Josh Norman, who were both sitting at home on their couches at one point. Like, that's how bad the secondary was, and we still were able to win some games. So like you said, that's more of a shout out to D'Amico Ryans. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think it was just rough, bro. The secondary this year really cost us. We made up for it, but, you know, we could have beat Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we should have beat Green Bay.
Yeah.
We let Rodgers drive right down the field, man. That was tough to watch.
Yeah.
But they got better. I would have preferred to see. Sure, absolutely. Every week there was growth. I really wish that there was I really wish there were different rotations in the NFC Championship, bro. Oh, Joe Woods. I'm sorry, Izzy. That's right. I said Robert Woods. Joe Woods. But anyway, I feel like we should have made some rotations, bro, in the NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we should have seen a little bit, you know, if you noticed that Ambry Thomas was getting burnt, you know, then why force, you know, they're forcing the ball on his side. So I feel like there should have been some things that we did different, man. You know, you use the secondary to your advantage one week, and what works one week, you don't implement any of it in the second week. And I know you want to match up to your opponent, and you've probably thought that, you know, Ambry would have done better than Dante in that situation, but I mean, would it have killed you to try?
Yeah.
Could we have gotten better play out of Dante Johnson than what we got versus LA in LA?
That's true.
There's so many questions, bro. There's so many questions that we left on the board, you know, and that's the part that's why maybe I let this get to me too much.
Yeah.
Bro, it burned me. I mean, fam, it burned me out. Miriah, I was like, I didn't want to watch anything. I didn't want to watch Breezy's show, and I love Breezy's show. But I just didn't want to talk football. You know what I mean? Like, I was pissed. You guys were in spaces, chopping it up, breaking it down. You went back to the lab, TL, and you were in there, dude. Like me, I'm like, dude, do you people sleep? Do you people sleep? Maybe I got a problem. Maybe I'm too invested. Maybe I'm too invested.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that though, man. But
it was tough.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I wasn't expecting much from Dante Johnson. Normally, we're crying if we have to see him play. You know, so we're begging to see him play. Like, that's pretty sad. So, I mean, you have to put your expectations like into check, because if we're expecting to see him go out there and play like a star corner, then
he did.
That's why you're very upset.
I guess it was just the tundra. I guess it has a funny way of making people stand out. I don't know.
Yeah,
he did.
That's true.
He did have a pretty good game.
So the last position group is special teams, and they're getting a D plus. Uh, the only reason why it's not an F is because in that Cincinnati Bengals game, they helped us win that game because there was so many special teams blunders from Cincinnati, and we actually on those 2 fumbles we got the recovery.
Yeah.
So we did our thing there, and then 2, I mean, they're the reason why we won that Green Bay game. Like, I think Richard Hightower honestly saved his job because of how the special teams was playing in the playoffs. They actually played pretty solid. So yeah, in saying that, it's not much to say. They were horrendous. I'm going to give them a D plus, and that's probably being nice. But so
Yeah, I gave him a D. And for everything you just said, however, I don't know if Hightower saved his job. I guess we'll still find out about that.
I don't think the Niners will fire 2 black coaches in the same offseason.
We'll see.
It's not, dude. Kyle likes him. I think Kyle likes him a lot. I think Kyle
They played
had
high
a lot
school.
of.
They played together in college at the University of Texas.
I had no
right?
idea.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes.
That's
sense.
why they're so close.
I mean, but how long is it going to be acceptable for special teams to be the worst,
I mean, the
part of your
potential's
team?
there. I mean, the potential's there. I mean, what did he ask? What did he say to them before the Green Bay game? Like, did he plead on his knees? Like, guys, they're gonna fire me. Like, I need something impressive. And Willis is just like, all right, man, I'll do my best. I'll try to get you a block.
Yeah.
I'll at least set him up for a block.
I know it's only one guy, but people tend to forget Tarvari Moore was our special teams gunner. He was always the one that was always the first one down the field making the tackle. And then when he tore his Achilles in training camp, that hurt special teams. I mean, it's a good thing we had Trent Sherfield because he's an excellent special teamer as well. But when you lose your best guy in any position group, it's gonna hinder him. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Yeah. What you got for special teams as a grade, JV?
I'm sitting there with a solid D. I think they really they need some work, but I mean, I'm not going to give them their flowers too. They're getting a D.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
they got flowers during Green Bay. They got lots of flowers.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that just showed me that there was potential in that Hightower. I don't know. Is he really that bad? Could he be that bad of a coach, or is it just personnel? Getting these guys, encouraging them to play special teams. It's not a thrill, Some guys love it. He said Debo absolutely thrived.
Some people love it.
He'll do whatever you want me to do, bro.
Like, who's that dude from Patriots? Matthew Slater. He's been a Pro Bowler for like a decade and special teams ace. He loves it.
I mean,
he loves it. He's like that. He's like the guy from what's that guy's name who tried out for the Eagles back in the 70s? Greg Papali. Have you ever seen that movie? When Mark Wahlberg, when he tried out for the Philadelphia, it's a true story.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You need to watch that movie, JV. It's pretty good. I don't remember the name of it right now, but Mark Wahlberg plays the guy. His name is Greg Papali, and it was in the 70s, and the Eagles were horrible. And Dick Vermeil was the head coach. And Dick Vermeil was like, and so they made an announcement for the whole city to say, hey, we're looking for tryouts. If you feel like you're athletic and a football player, try out. And he was a bartender. He tried out and he made the team as a special teamer. And this is a true story. Invincible. It's a true story, too.
I've heard of it. I don't know why. I haven't seen it. I got to check it out for sure.
You should watch it, bro. It's pretty good. Like I said, it's a true story, too. So
I'll enjoy it.
That's funny. That reminds me is when I was stationed down in San Diego. They had it all over the news because the Chargers were horrible at that time, right? Like 2-14. And they were like, we're looking for people to try out and this and that. And it was funny. You know who made that team that year? Antonio Gates. Wow. He went and tried out, undrafted guy, went and tried out for the team, and he made the team as a tight end. Wow. And you know how that story goes. It's crazy, man.
Damn. Yeah, I'm giving him a solid D.
Yeah, for sure. I miss the Tony Montana squad. Absolutely. CJ Spillman, that dude was the man. So yeah, I think that's all the position groups.
Yep. It was a crazy season to say the least.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys grade? How do you guys grade Kyle?
I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him a B.
Yeah, I think I give him a B plus, B plus. Technically could be considered for coach of the year, right? From 3-5 to go to the NFC Championship game. No,
Mm, I still say it should go to Mike Vrabel, even though they lost
Yeah.
first round in the playoffs because they lost Derrick Henry, and he took
Mhm.
them to the number 1 seed in the AFC. That's impressive.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah,
who
I
I
do
would
like
pick.
Vrabel. I
Yeah,
do like Vrabel.
yeah
He's a good coach.
he's a solid coach, man. Yeah, he's on reason why. And to see what Kyle, like after first 4 weeks, I was like, man, what is he doing? Like the play calling was just horrendous to me, man. And I had told Miriah weeks ago, like after that Eagles game, my 11-year-old daughter was like, why does it look like the Niners keep doing the same thing over again? And she don't even like football, so it was just funny to me that she even saw what was going on. But yeah, but I feel like since that Colts game, I think Kyle was in his bag because you can see people running free all game. It's just Jimmy,
Yeah.
he wasn't hitting them. So I don't put that on Kyle. If the quarterbacks, he's the one who's out. Jimmy's out there making the throws, and the fact I see Brandon Ayuk running free, George Kittle running free, and Jimmy's not even looking in their direction. So yeah,
Do you think the IU controversy kind of put the whole offense at a standstill, kind of disheveled, like just disrupted? You know what I mean? Because that Ayuk bullshit was, come on. I mean, you
yeah,
made your point. You made your point somewhere back there, right? Like the fact that you potentially cost the first 3 games of the season. I don't know, man. I think
it was
there
tough.
was something
Yeah.
wrong with there was something wrong.
There was
We were
something
more
wrong.
surprised that we were losing, and I don't feel like we really discussed what caused it.
Yeah,
What the hell was the problem? Like, was it Kyle? Were we just not establishing an identity early enough? Did we struggle in camp with quarterback controversy that we didn't focus on our identity? Like,
yeah. Well, what kind of bugged me about the situation was, all I kept hearing all training camp, oh, Trent Sherfield is killing. He's killing. He's doing his thing. He's doing thing. And then when we start playing the games, he's not getting any snaps. I'm like, if he's your third best receiver, where is he? Why are you playing Travis Benjamin? Why are you playing Muhammad Sanu? That didn't make any sense to me. You're supposed to put your best. You're supposed to put your best 11 on the field at all times. And I'm sorry, whether Ayuk was struggling or not, him struggling is better than Muhammad Sanu out there. I'm sorry, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think they amped up Sherfield to really try to light a fire under Ayuk's ass.
Maybe.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
like get motivated. Like, if we can't motivate you, and I think he was snapping back at Kyle.
He probably was.
And I think it took him the better half of the middle of the season to really buy in.
Yeah.
And as soon as he bought in, the offense started firing. 1 weak link, bro. You know it better than anybody in sports. A weak link.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
glad that when it comes down to it, I already like seeing Trey being a leader, saying I'm going to take the receivers down to Southern California. We're going to work out in the offseason. To me, for a 21-year-old kid, that's impressive, man. I don't care what nobody says. So for him to already talk that talk and say we're going to go down there and do that, I love that, man. I'm expecting big things from my Ayuk for sure because that seems like Trey's guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Teran.
Yep.
Look at Brady. Brady's sticking around. It set a precedent for these young guys coming in. They know what it takes. This guy is over 40 years old, 7 Super Bowls. How many MVPs?
Yeah.
How many All Pros? They're learning from they're learning from the best, and I think it's important, because you sure as shit didn't pick that up from Jimmy.
Eileen, I don't know if you're trolling or not, but let's keep
I
it
mean,
a
her
buck.
name is Eileen over.
I
Like,
leaned
come
over.
on.
Yeah, that's true. I leaned over.
I'm not taking anything they say.
some Bart
I did-
Simpson. That's some Bart Simpson stuff.
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
Eileen
I'm
Dover.
terrible at that. Like, I'd be like, hey, Eileen Dover. Listen, but I'm not good at putting them together, man. Mariah's been working on that for a little bit, huh?
The best one
That's why I
I've
haven't
seen.
put any of her comments up there because I just saw it right away.
The best one I seen was "Hey, would you blow me?"
Yeah.
Hey, the first name was Haywood, Haywood, and then Jablomi, Jab. It was hilarious, dude. Hey, would you
That's
blow
funny.
me?
Yeah, you never know.
Eileen Dover. Good catch, Miriah.
Hey, Randon, thanks for joining.
There's got to be something about Lynch that caught their eye. I mean, to use that capital the way they did, they believe something.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Peters was around. Mike Shanahan was around. There were quite a few names in the room. You know what I mean? So Trey Lance, I think I'm excited, you guys. We've got no other choice to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been excited for him since we drafted him. So.
Yes, same here, brother.
Does JV come back?
Well, you remember JV. I kept saying it even all off season, like on the Rombo show, everybody, I kept saying that we're going to pick Trey Lance. Remember, I kept saying it? I kept saying over and over again, Trey Lance is going to be the quarterback.
That is important. It's important that you tell people how early on, because a lot of people didn't know Trey Lance, and they didn't have a lot of Trey Lance. There were only a few people back then that were talking about Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. I told you that draft board that you had with Rombo, that's what put you on the map for me, man. I'm like, hey, I like this guy. I'm going to chop it up with this guy. So
he's the only one that made sense to me. To be honest, I'm like, after I knew that Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson were gonna like the first two, I'm like, we're not picking Fields. I'm like, it's Trey Lance because of the way.
I thought it was Fields.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I wanted Fields, but I'm a Buckeye guy, so I'm biased. That's why Olave sounds so good to me too, bro.
Oh,
getting Bosa from a Buckeyes uniform to a 49ers uniform for me, bro, that was
just amazing. Yeah,
it was amazing for me.
Yeah. I feel you, man.
But it would be incredible to see Olave drop. I mean, amazing.
Dude, if we get him, it's all she wrote, man. Curtains, you can just shut the curtains, man. Show's over if we get that dude. If we get those four receivers on this team together as a collective with Kittle and this run game, you might as well forget about it.
I was hard on Trey at first with the spiral. Like, I need a spiral. I need you to start throwing the tighter spiral. Do you see Justin Fields throw a spiral? That boy can throw a spiral, and he can whip it, right? And then I saw Trey's arm in camp, and I'm just like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see where Fields differs from Lance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like a strong pocket presence. The Buckeyes always had a good offensive line.
All the time.
That really gave him plenty of time. Mm-hmm. He had plenty of time to make his reads and then pull it and tuck and go. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not there, I'll just take it. So transitioning to the NFL under Nagy, I wasn't happy for him, man. I really wish better for him. But
now that he's fired, I'm sure they'll get somebody better now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, me and Miriah were both high on Trey. Because matter of fact, we even placed bets that he was going to be the quarterback.
Yep.
That's awesome. You guys, That's great. I did not see Trey. I was scared that McNoodle was going to be part of it, but I thought it was going to be Fields.
Yeah, I don't know. I know everybody's high on Fields, but I wasn't too impressed with what I saw from him this season. You see what happens when he has a bad O-line. He's surely not good under pressure. So I'm really happy that we got Trey Lance over him.
Melissa, you were correct though. You were calling for Creed all off season and before the draft, saying she's like, we need Creed, and I'm just like, yeah, I think we do need an offensive lineman, but not that early. However, he should have been the pick over Banks. So I agree with that because I thought that he should have been the pick if they're going to go offensive line. But this system, knowing how Kyle and their history, I mean, other than Mike McGlinchey, I thought interior line was going to be later because I thought that second round pick was going to be a corner, to be honest. After we picked Trey, I was like, we need a corner. And then we picked Aaron Banks. I'm like, what? I was like, might as well go Creed Humphrey. So, yeah, I agree with that, Melissa. But you were high on him all season. So kudos to you on that one.
Good for you. Yeah. She really was. She She's got the memory of an elephant, and she has the heart of a lion. That woman she knows what she wants. Unfortunately, sadly for us, they didn't agree.
Yeah.
They hinged the secondary on JV.
And you know what's funny too? I mean, I know we're gonna be ending the show soon, but people used to sit there and bash Trey about how many yards he threw per game. Not only did he get bashed for the talent he played against, but for his yardage. Like, oh, he only threw like 200 yards a game. Well, he's the North Dakota State's the Alabama of the FCS. He wouldn't even play second half sometimes. Sometimes they sit him in the fourth quarter because they had like 4 touchdown leads.
Yep.
But people don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, then let them talk about something else, because we're going to see him finally. We're not going to waste any more of the rookie contract, which I was getting scared with all that talk of like bringing back Jimmy. And like, I'm like, how could you do that?
Yeah.
The money doesn't work here. And Bosa and Debo need paid. Like, the money doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. I don't give a damn if John Lynch and Kyle are having a struggling time, because, it's time. It's time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think from what we heard in the pressers this weekend, he's gone, and it seems like John said that the money's been budgeted for Bosa and Debo, so I'm guessing that's probably coming from Jimmy's contract.
Yeah. And before we leave, what I will say, people were so worried about Trey and his touch on his passes. But, man, that Houston game, I was seeing some nice touch on those passes. Like, you remember that touchdown he threw to Elijah Mitchell? That little short dump off, like he put it perfectly in his breadbasket and he took off. And then that throw to Debo was just on a rope, man. That was a beautiful throw. And it's just
I was rough on him. I was rough on him.
You were, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who were.
But that didn't. I understood that could be taught. I knew that could be taught.
Yeah.
He's got every other intangible you need.
Everything
else.
He's
got everything. Yep. And what? So you didn't throw a tight spiral? Figure it out. Work on it, bro. You're going to go down to Southern California? Go.
Well, that's what was making me laugh, too, because people kept making excuses. Oh, he has to put some touch on his throws. I'm like, he had FCS receivers catching his passes. So I don't want to hear any nonsense about no NFL wide receivers not be able to catch his balls. I'm sorry, bro. Like that excuse to me missed me with that. Like Christian Watson had no issue. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that. So yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, and he made it to the third pick of the NFL draft, not throwing a tight spiral. So
Yep.
It is what it is.
He did. That's a damn good point.
Obviously, didn't hurt him too bad.
Yep.
I love it. I was thinking about how she would say that in the comments if I were in the chat. Like, hey, JV. That would have been a good one. Good point. I'm excited.
Great show, Miriah.
I'm excited.
Hey, thanks for joining us, JV. We appreciate it.
Bro. Thanks for having me, you guys. I appreciate it. Anytime, man. I actually, this was the first day. I was avoiding my show since Tuesday. I was running out of excuses, and the guys were like, bro, we got to go live. I was trying to avoid it like the plague. So I'm feeling better. It was good to join you guys and chop it up. And
we
it'll be good.
appreciate you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome anytime. Guys. We appreciate everybody that joined us in the chat. And we'll be back next week.
Yep. You guys have a good night. Appreciate you guys for joining in. As usual, Michael, Randon, Melissa. I know Sin left, but Peachy, all you guys, man. Appreciate it.
Good time.
Yep. Everybody have a great week. Stay safe.
Later, fam.